Most seniors are told to eat more fruit. But what no one explains is this. Certain fruits, especially after age 60, can quietly sabotage your circulation, weaken your legs, and speed up muscle loss. And no, this isn't just about sugar. It's about how your aging body responds to specific compounds hidden inside these fruits. Compounds that can spike blood sugar, deplete magnesium, and even impair the oxygen flow your muscles desperately need. In this video, you discover the 7 fruits seniors should stop eating immediately and what to replace them with to protect your strength, your stamina, and your balance. Let's begin with one of the most beloved fruits on the planet, the banana. If you're not active, bananas can work against you. Bananas are often seen as the poster child of healthy snacking. You'll find them everywhere, in gym bags, lunch boxes, morning routines, and for good reason. They're convenient, require no preparation, and offer a quick energy boost. But here's what nobody tells you. Bananas are contextual. Whether they help or harm you depends entirely on your lifestyle. If you're physically active, walking daily, lifting, moving, sweating, bananas act as fast-digesting fuel that your body can immediately put to work. But if you're over 60, living a more sedentary lifestyle, those same bananas may be silently contributing to fatigue, stubborn belly fat, insulin resistance, and even muscle cramps. Let's start with the obvious. Bananas are sugar bombs in disguise. A medium banana contains about 14 grams of sugar. And while that sugar is natural, your bloodstream doesn't care. It behaves like sugar regardless. Eat a banana, especially on an empty stomach or without protein or fat to buffer it, and your blood sugar spikes. Fast. That spike causes a surge of insulin, the hormone responsible for sweeping sugar out of your blood and storing it, usually as fat. Once that surge wears off, your blood sugar drops. You feel it: fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and an urge to eat more sugar just to feel normal again. That roller coaster, it doesn't feel like a sugar issue. It feels like aging. But it's not. It's unstable glucose. If you're walking 10,000 steps a day, gardening intensely, or lifting weights, your muscles use that sugar as fuel. Your metabolism can handle the spike, but if your day includes sitting, minimal movement, or only light housework, that sugar has nowhere to go. So your body stores it, mostly in your midsection, and that's dangerous fat because it wraps around your organs. Over time, it raises your risk for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. And it's not just the sugar that's the problem, it's a nutrient imbalance too. Bananas are famously high in potassium, which helps regulate heart rhythm, nerve signals, and fluid balance. That sounds great, until you realize bananas are low in magnesium, and potassium and magnesium. They're a pair. They work together to support muscle function, hydration, and nerve communication. When one is high and the other is low, especially in older adults whose magnesium levels are already drained by stress, medication, and age, your body sounds the alarm. Muscle cramps, leg spasms at night, calf tightness. These aren't random, they're messages. And ironically, many seniors double down on bananas to fix the cramps, thinking more potassium will help, when what they actually need is magnesium. The result? The cramps get worse. Your body isn't confused. It's trying to get your attention. Every food you eat either aligns with your metabolism or clogs the system. And the only way to know the difference isn't by following trends. It's by listening to your own body. So ask yourself honestly, do you feel sharper, lighter, more clear-headed after eating bananas? Or do you find yourself foggy, tired and bloated an hour later. Your body is speaking, and it always is. And sometimes, true health begins with questioning what you assumed was safe. Bananas aren't bad, but they're not for everyone, and certainly not for every day, especially if you're not moving. Now let's talk about grapes. They look innocent, refreshing, bite-sized. A bowl of grapes feels like a smart, even virtuous snack, something you reach for instead of candy or chips. And for years, you've been told they're heart healthy, packed with antioxidants like resveratrol, good for your skin, even protective against disease. But for older adults, especially those with slow circulation or low daily movement, grapes can quietly become one of the most deceptive triggers of inflammation and metabolic stress in your diet. Here's why. Grapes are almost pure sugar in disguise. That soft skin and juicy center. It's loaded with glucose and fructose, two fast-absorbing sugars that flood your bloodstream in minutes. Just one small handful, about 15 to 20 grapes, contains over 20 grams of sugar. That's more than a small candy bar. But unlike a candy bar, grapes don't come with a warning label. They don't feel indulgent. They feel natural. But natural doesn't mean neutral. And in a senior body that processes sugar less efficiently, grapes can quietly cause more harm than you realize, especially when eaten mindlessly throughout the day. It starts with a glucose spike. Grapes hit your bloodstream fast. And with that, your blood sugar rises sharply. In a younger, more insulin-sensitive body, this isn't a big deal. The spike is handled quickly, but in older adults, especially those with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or weakened pancreatic function, that sugar lingers, and that sets off a chain reaction. Blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, then a crash. And every time the cycle repeats, the cost is real. It fuels inflammation, weakens capillary walls, stresses your entire vascular system. You'll begin to feel it. Swelling in the ankles, puffiness in the fingers, heaviness in your legs by late afternoon. These aren't just signs of poor circulation. They're symptoms of glycemic overload. Your body is struggling to clear sugar, regulate fluid, and maintain vascular tone. And though grapes may seem light, their metabolic weight is heavy. If you're already dealing with varicose veins, tingling limbs, neuropathy, or restless legs at night, grapes can quietly intensify the very symptoms you're trying to solve. And here's the irony. Most seniors snack on grapes between meals. That's when insulin is already unstable. That's when digestion is slow. So instead of being used for energy, the sugar has nowhere to go. It gets stored. Where? Your belly, your liver, your bloodstream. Over time, this raises belly fat, contributes to fatty liver, increases triglycerides, and adds to systemic inflammation. Now, yes, grapes contain resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant linked to cardiovascular health. But here's the truth. You'd need pounds of grapes to get a therapeutic dose of resveratrol, and by that point, you've overloaded your system with sugar. Whatever benefit resveratrol might offer is buried beneath metabolic damage. If you really want resveratrol, you'd be better off taking a supplement, or getting it from low-sugar fermented sources like red wine. In moderation, grapes aren't harmful because they lack nutrients. They're harmful because they overwhelm the system with sugar before any benefit can take hold. So, what's the better option? If you enjoy fruit, choose safer alternatives. Berries, like raspberries and blueberries, are lower in sugar and higher in fiber. They still provide antioxidants, support blood vessels, and have a gentler effect on blood sugar. Even green apple slices with cinnamon or pears in moderation can satisfy your sweet tooth without causing a sugar bomb. And if you're going to eat fruit, do it with a meal, not on its own. Combine it with fat, protein, or fiber to soften the glucose spike. Never snack on grapes in isolation, especially not in the afternoon or evening when your insulin sensitivity is naturally at its lowest. And this is the part that matters most. Your body changes with age. What worked in your 30s may no longer serve you in your 60s or 70s. Your tolerance for sugar drops. Your ability to regulate blood pressure, fluid retention, and blood flow becomes more fragile. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to adapt. Grapes might have been fine when you were chasing kids or running errands, but now, when movement is less and recovery is slower, you must become more selective, not restrictive, intentional. So if you're struggling with swelling, fatigue after meals, restless legs, or tingling in your feet, ask yourself, how often are grapes part of your routine? Are they helping, or are they just a habit? A quiet indulgence hiding under the label of health. The body doesn't lie. It speaks through symptoms, and if yours is sending signals, it's time to listen. Grapes aren't evil, but for many seniors, they're a mismatch. Don't be fooled by the word fruit. Be guided by how you feel. Do you feel light, energized and clear, or swollen, tired, and foggy? Your circulation, your insulin, your energy, they all deserve better than a fruit that pretends to nourish while quietly draining you. Know your body, honor your biology, and don't let sugar wear a healthy disguise. Watermelon. It's summer's favorite fruit. Sweet, juicy, refreshing. It reminds you of family picnics, long afternoons, and the laughter of childhood. There's something deeply nostalgic about slicing into a wedge of watermelon on a warm day. The bright pink flesh, the coolness, the simplicity. And over the years, watermelon has earned a reputation as one of the healthy fruits. After all, it's mostly water. It's hydrating. It's light. But here's the hard truth. Most people avoid saying out loud, watermelon is one of the worst fruits you can snack on regularly if you're over 60 and inactive. Not because it's unnatural, but because your aging body can no longer afford the blood sugar chaos it creates. Let's look at what watermelon really is. Roughly 92% water. The rest, mostly sugar. It contains very little fiber, practically no fat, and zero protein to slow digestion. That means when you eat it, especially on an empty stomach or without other foods to buffer it, it hits your bloodstream like a freight train. In scientific terms, watermelon has a glycemic index of 72 to 80, depending on ripeness. That's higher than white bread. And when you're older, when insulin sensitivity has declined, when your pancreas is slower to respond, and blood sugar regulation becomes fragile, this kind of spike sets off a metabolic storm. Your blood sugar shoots up. You feel a brief rush, maybe even a full surge of energy, but within 30 to 60 minutes, it crashes, and you feel it. Shaky hands, heavy legs, clouded thinking, and if that spike crash cycle repeats day after day, snack after snack, your blood vessels begin to pay the price, especially the capillaries in your feet, hands, and brain. Watermelon may taste light, but its effects are anything but. Here's what's rarely discussed. Chronic consumption of high glycemic foods damages your microcirculation. That's the delicate network of tiny blood vessels delivering oxygen and nutrients to your eyes, fingers, toes, and brain. Repeated sugar spikes inflame these vessels, making them stiff and dysfunctional. Blood flow slows, tissues are starved of nutrients, and symptoms begin to surface. Cold hands and feet, tingling or numbness, restless legs at night, dizziness when standing, slow healing cuts, especially in the lower legs. These aren't just signs of getting older. They're signs of impaired circulation, made worse by food choices. And here's the kicker. Most watermelon is eaten alone mid-afternoon, after lunch, or as a light snack. Rarely is it paired with protein or fat. That means there's no buffer, no slowdown. It slides into your bloodstream like liquid sugar. And the larger the portion, the more dramatic the impact. You don't need to eat a whole melon to feel it. Just a few slices a day can create an unstable blood sugar pattern, especially in older adults with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or metabolic syndrome. And that feeling of refreshment, often misleading. People eat watermelon thinking it's hydrating, but without the key minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium to hold that water inside your cells, it passes right through you. You may find yourself urinating frequently, followed by fatigue, dry mouth, or dizziness that doesn't match the water you consumed. That's not always age. Often, it's an electrolyte imbalance caused by a poor hydration strategy. Watermelon gives you water, but not the elements needed to retain it. So what should you do? You don't need to give up watermelon forever, but you must stop eating it mindlessly. If you're going to have it, treat it like dessert, not hydration. Eat a small amount and only after a balanced meal. Never eat it on an empty stomach. Always pair it with fat or protein, a few almonds, a slice of cheese, a boiled egg. This slows absorption, protects your energy, and prevents the crash. And most importantly, don't eat it every day. Reserve it for moments, not habits. Then observe. Watch how your balance shifts, your mental clarity, your afternoon energy. If you've been feeling tired for no clear reason, if your legs feel like they're dragging, if your mornings are foggy, or your afternoons crash hard. Take a closer look at what you're snacking on. You may believe you're making a healthy choice, but your body, especially after 60, processes watermelon very differently than it used to. What was once harmless now comes with a cost. Circulation matters, blood flow matters, mental clarity matters, and every bite you take is sending a message toward health or away from it. So the next time you reach for a slice of watermelon, ask yourself, am I fueling my body or flooding it? Your answer will shape how you feel the rest of the day. It doesn't matter if it's organic. It doesn't matter if it's cold pressed, fresh squeezed, or free of additives. Once you strip the fiber from a fruit, once you remove the chewing, the fullness, the slow digestion, what you're left with is liquid sugar. Sugar that slams your liver, spikes your blood sugar, and quietly accelerates aging. And the older you get, the harder it is to recover from that damage. Let's break this down. 1 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains around 21 to 26 grams of sugar, most of it in the form of fructose. That's the equivalent of 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar in one sitting. But it doesn't feel like dessert. It feels like something good, because the industry trained you to believe that juice is a vitamin. But fructose doesn't behave like glucose. It doesn't enter your bloodstream to be used by your muscles. Instead, it's processed almost entirely by your liver. And when you flood your liver with large doses of fructose, day after day, especially without fiber or movement, the result is predictable and devastating. Fatty liver, insulin resistance, systemic inflammation. Your liver, already slower due to age, gets overwhelmed. It starts storing the excess fructose as visceral fat. That's the dangerous fat that wraps around your organs. And it doesn't just sit there. It releases inflammatory signals and hormones that damage blood vessels, slow muscle recovery, and raise your risk of falls, swelling, and mobility decline. And all of this can begin from something as seemingly innocent as a daily glass of juice. Even worse, many seniors drink juice first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach. That means no food to slow digestion, no fiber to bind the sugar, no nutrients to buffer the hit. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin surges, and within an hour or two, you crash, tired, foggy, craving more sugar. And if you pair that juice with toast or cereal, you've just stacked sugar on sugar on sugar. Your pancreas goes into overdrive, your circulation weakens, and your legs feel it. That heavy, unstable sensation when walking, that wobbliness on stairs, that struggle to stay balanced after a meal, that's not just aging, that's sugar-induced vascular fatigue. And it's not just orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, cranberry juice, pomegranate juice. Even no sugar added versions hit the body the same way. Without fiber, your body treats them like soda. And most juices contain just as much sugar as soda, sometimes more. They flood your bloodstream with calories, but they don't satisfy. You drink them, but you don't feel full. You feel off, bloated, slow, oddly depleted. Then comes the real danger. Your body stops responding to insulin properly. It's called insulin resistance, and it's the first domino to fall in metabolic disease. It's why some seniors gain weight even while eating less. It's why belly fat becomes impossible to lose. It's why a short walk suddenly drains your energy. Because once insulin stops working well, your muscles can't pull in fuel. Your circulation doesn't adapt. And your ability to stay upright, steady, and mentally clear begins to unravel. So let's say it plainly. If you're drinking juice every day, stop. It's not hydrating you. It's not protecting you. It's not giving you real energy. It's hurting you. Even fresh juice at home. Even juice with pulp. It's all missing the one thing that makes fruit healthy. Fiber. You're not drinking fruit. You're drinking fruit sugar. And here's the wild part. Many seniors feel better within days of quitting juice. Bloating fades, legs feel lighter, balance improves, hunger normalizes. And the cloudy afternoon crash, gone. Because when you stop flooding your system with fructose, your liver catches its breath, your insulin begins to work again, and your muscles, brain, and gut fall back into sync. If you want hydration, drink water. If you want flavor, add lemon, cucumber, or mint. If you want nutrients, eat whole fruit. Apples, berries, pears. Yes, they still contain sugar, but it's packaged in fiber, so it enters your system gently, safely, respectfully. That's how nature designed fruit to work. Juice is a hijacking of that design. A shortcut with a steep price. So the next time you reach for a bottle of juice, ask yourself, am I drinking this for my health? Or for a habit that's quietly keeping me stuck? Because your body is speaking. In your circulation, in your balance, in your cravings. And it's not whispering anymore. Break the cycle. Ditch the juice. Your liver, your blood vessels, your legs, your clarity will thank you. A date is not just a fruit. Once you dry a fruit, you remove one of its most essential ingredients, water. And when that water is gone, something else happens. The sugar inside becomes hyper-concentrated. What was once a juicy bite of balanced nutrition becomes a calorie-dense, fiber-light, sugar-heavy bomb, processed by your body more like candy than anything resembling whole food. Let's look at the numbers. A single date contains around 16 grams of sugar, more than a cookie. 1 cup of raisins, over 85 grams of sugar. That's the sugar equivalent of drinking 2 cans of soda but without the liquid. And because dried fruit is small, people eat it by the handful. They don't chew slowly. They don't get full. So it's easy, alarmingly easy, to consume 3, 4, even 5 times the amount of sugar your body can handle in a single sitting without even realizing it. And the damage is immediate. Your blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, your brain, your mood, your energy, all ride the roller coaster that follows. At first you feel a quick burst of energy, maybe even a little satisfaction, but within an hour, your blood sugar crashes, you're left feeling tired, sluggish, maybe even irritable, and it gets worse. Because dried fruit contains almost no water or fiber, there's nothing to slow or stabilize that sugar load. Your digestive system clogs. Your joints feel tighter. Your muscles lose elasticity. But here's where it becomes a real issue for older adults. Dried fruits dehydrate you. Your muscles, ligaments, and organs all depend on water to stay supple and functional. Water gives your joints glide. It helps your heart pump efficiently. It keeps your skin from thinning and your digestion from grinding to a halt. But dried fruits, despite sounding moist and chewy, pull water from your system just to be digested. They absorb fluid as they break down. Fluid your aging body can't afford to lose. That's why many seniors feel bloated, cramped, or constipated after eating dried fruit. Your system is drying out from the inside, and you're feeding it more dryness. Now, add to that the fact that many dried fruits are coated in oils to prevent sticking, infused with added sugars, especially cranberries, mango, pineapple, preserved with sulfur dioxide, which can irritate the lungs and digestive tract in sensitive individuals. These are not whole foods, these are processed products, stripped of water, loaded with sugar, and preserved for shelf life, not your life. And the effects sneak in silently. Tight calves, restless legs at night, increased joint pain, slower recovery after walking, muscle fatigue that doesn't match your effort, dry mouth, even after drinking water, dizziness when standing, a never-ending craving for more snacks. These are not just signs of aging, they're signals. Your body telling you it's being knocked off balance by what you eat. And dried fruits are often the hidden trigger. So what's the solution? It's simple. Cut them out or treat them like dessert. If you're going to eat dried fruit, do it sparingly. 2 dates, not 8. 5 raisins, not a handful. And always pair them with something that slows down the sugar. Protein, fat, or fiber. But better yet, swap them out entirely. Choose fresh fruit, a few slices of apple, a pear, a handful of berries. Yes, they still contain sugar, but they also offer water, fiber, and natural volume. They satisfy you more with less impact. Your body digests them slowly, your blood sugar stays steadier, and your hydration is supported, not stolen. And if you find yourself reaching for dried fruit out of habit, something to chew on during TV, something to fill the afternoon slump, something to feel good while avoiding chocolate, pause. Ask yourself what your body truly wants. Is it energy, connection, hydration, comfort? Dried fruit is easy, but it doesn't solve the real problem. It just covers it in sugar. You deserve more than that. So next time you pass the trail mix, the little boxes of raisins, those fancy organic medjool dates in the store, remember this. Small doesn't mean safe. Sweet doesn't mean smart. And if your joints are stiffer, your cravings are stronger, your digestion is slower, your energy is lower, dried fruits may be silently holding you back. Don't fall for health food marketing. Don't let nostalgia trick your biology. Feed your body what it actually needs: hydration, stability, clarity, real nourishment, not dry sugar in disguise. Once fruit is canned in syrup, it stops being food and becomes a metabolic threat. It's not just less healthy, it's dangerous in disguise. And if you're over 60, struggling with circulation, energy dips, leg swelling, or tingling in your feet, this so-called health food might be one of the culprits quietly pulling you down. Let's be clear. Canned fruit in syrup is not fruit anymore. It's fruit that's been stripped, softened, and soaked in sugar water. And the syrup it swims in, it's not just sweet. It's often made with high fructose corn syrup, one of the most inflammatory substances in the modern food chain. This isn't the kind of sugar your body can just walk off. It's the kind that slams your bloodstream, overloads your liver, and damages the endothelium, the thin, fragile lining of your blood vessels that controls how blood flows to your heart, brain, muscles, and most critically, your legs. That's where the damage begins, when the endothelium becomes inflamed, which it often does in seniors eating syrup-laced foods. Circulation slows. Blood no longer flows freely to your lower body. Vessels constrict. Oxygen delivery drops. And the tissues in your legs, feet, and toes begin to suffer. That's when the signs appear. More swelling, especially around the ankles. A heavier sensation in your legs after sitting or walking. Numbness or tingling in the feet that comes and goes without warning. Or the quiet realization that you just don't move as freely anymore. Not because your muscles are weak, but because your blood can't reach them. This isn't just aging. This is diet-induced vascular dysfunction. And canned fruit in syrup is one of the fastest ways to cause it. Now here's the deceptive part. You think you're making a good choice. The label says peaches or fruit cocktail. It's shelf-stable, easy to open. They even serve it in hospitals and retirement homes, sometimes labeled light syrup, as if that makes it harmless. But light syrup is still syrup. A single small can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar in one sitting, more than a candy bar. And because it doesn't feel like dessert, you eat it more often, after breakfast, with lunch, as a healthy treat. And each time, you're flooding your system with sugar that spikes insulin, inflames blood vessels, and destabilizes your energy, without ever satisfying your hunger. Because canned fruit and syrup doesn't just add sugar. It removes everything fruit was meant to offer. No fiber, no real hydration, no structure. The high heat from processing breaks down the cellular matrix of the fruit, leaving behind soft, lifeless flesh that digests like candy and provides little to no real nourishment. Your body treats it exactly like junk food, and your blood vessels are paying the price. You feel that price in small, frustrating ways. Legs that ache after standing, feet you have to elevate more often, a strange tightness in your calves, shaky thighs when climbing stairs. These aren't random symptoms. They are signals, quiet cries from your circulation. Your endothelial lining is inflamed. Your blood is getting thicker. Your oxygen delivery is slowing. The worst part? Over time, this damage starts to feel normal. You think, maybe I'm just getting old, but in reality, your body is fighting unnecessary friction and losing, because when blood can't move freely, everything becomes harder. Walking, thinking, sleeping, healing, and no pill will reverse what daily sugar from canned fruit is doing at a microvascular level. So what should you do? Simple. Eliminate canned fruit in syrup completely. This isn't a moderation food. It doesn't serve your biology. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't help you age well. If you want fruit, eat it fresh, whole, and seasonal. With the skin on whenever possible. If fresh isn't an option, choose unsweetened frozen fruit or canned fruit packed in water or its own juice only, and still read the label carefully. Drain it, rinse it, reduce the sugar exposure, protect your vessels. Because many seniors, after removing canned fruit and syrup, report feeling lighter, less swollen, clearer mentally, even less dependent on walking aids. That's not magic. That's your body finally working without interference. That's blood flowing where it needs to go. That's oxygen reaching your cells again. That's aging on your terms. So no. Canned peaches are not harmless. Pineapple in syrup is not light. And those tiny plastic fruit cups handed out in medical settings, they're not nourishment. They are sabotage in a spoon. Your legs are asking for freedom. Your heart is asking for ease. Your blood is asking for room to move. Say no to syrup. Say yes to real food, real circulation, and real health. Give your body the chance to move like it still remembers how to. Because it does. Overripe mangoes. Mangoes can be healthy when eaten in moderation and paired with healthy fats. But overripe mangoes. They contain more sugar and less fiber, which leads to faster blood sugar spikes, weakened insulin response, dizziness, heaviness in the legs. And here's what many seniors don't realize. They often blend mangoes into smoothies or desserts, unaware that this tropical treat may be silently sabotaging their circulation. What to eat instead? Berries, especially blueberries and raspberries, low in sugar, high in antioxidants, and protect your blood vessels. Apples with skin, high in fiber, support blood sugar balance. Avocados, yes, technically a fruit, rich in potassium and healthy fats, promote muscle tone and circulation. Not all fruit is senior friendly. Some nourish, others drain, some protect your strength, others chip away at it. So choose wisely. Avoid the 7 listed above, and fuel your body with fruits that support, not sabotage, your circulation, your strength, and your stamina. Because after 60, if your legs go, your freedom follows. Walk strong, eat smart, stay free.